Yes. So in today's class, we are going to learn about how to create a new domain controller. You have a server which is your server 2016 and the server name is DC01. Let me log into the computer, okay, and check everything is properly either not. So I have just logged into the computer now, okay, and if I just go to the command prompt, if you type Windows key in your laptop or desktop keyboard and press R button, this run prompt will be coming. Just type a command called CMD. CMD means it's command prompt. When you enter the CMD and it enter in your screen in your computer, you will see the prompt, this dark color window. So this dark color window we call it as command prompt. So in this command, you can do anything and everything in this prompt, because if you are good in, if you are very much passionate about programming and scripting stuff, you will always love to work with the command prompt, because command will reduce your work. Your efficiency, productivity will be more when you use command prompts, and your interest and confidence will also be more when you use command prompts. Okay. So now let me check whether my computer has got the proper name or not. Okay, if you want to check the computer name in the command, from the command prompt, you can just use a command called host name. See, host is nothing but a computer in the IT language. When somebody talks about host, when somebody talks about instance, when somebody talks about VM, when somebody talks about virtual machine and node, everything is computer only. Either it is a client computer or a server computer, but basically it is a network device. Okay, normally it's a server. Okay, host name. If you click enter, it will tell you what is my computer name. See here, my computer in the VMware console, the name is DC01. But inside the operating system, it is server 01. Okay, what I have to do? I have to rename it to the proper one. So, how to rename a computer? Okay, so you need to go here, this PC, right click, and properties. So, in the properties, click on change settings, and you see here you have an option called server 1. Click on change option, and instead of server 1, make it DC01, because this is my very first domain controller, guys. Because in my environment I don't have any domain controller only as of now. I don't have any domain controller, and if you look at it, is in the work group only. Okay, let the computer get restarted. I'll show you whether it is in work group or in domain. It is in the work group. Yeah, my computer is up and running now. Okay, just right click, and send control edit. One second, I missed something here. Okay, so now let me enter the password at the rate 123. See, now I'm able to log into the computer. Okay, and now let me check whether my computer has got the proper name or not. So you can see two ways. One is command prompt. Go to command prompt and type host name. And if you type the host name, now my computer name got changed to DC01, and also the same name is there in the VMware level also. See, it is not necessarily the same. Sometimes in the VMware console you may have server 1, but inside the operating system you have DC01. So computer or the Active Directory will only understand what name is there inside the operating system. So it is always important to check the name of a computer from inside the computer and not from the VMware console. Okay, if you have a best practices, both the places you have the same number, same name. Now I was explaining you, right? If you want to rename a computer, what you have to do? First and foremost, you see you have to go here, this PC, my file explorer, right click on the thing, go to properties, okay, and then you see you get this. Now click on the change settings. So there are a lot of stuffs are there. So instead of that, you can run a quick command. That command will tell you very easily. See, sys sysdm.cpl. If you use a command called sysdm.cpl, see, it will directly take you to the renaming wizard. So that is why command prompt will always increase your efficiency, increase your knowledge, increase your confidence. Okay, and if you look at here, my computer name got changed. My computer name is DC01 now. And if you look at the work group, it still says work group, but it is not in the domain. See, work group, it is not in the domain, it is in the work group, guys. Okay, it is in the work group. Now, you know, you have a computer, the computer is renamed to DC01, and it is, I mean, it is in the work group. Now, what we want to do, we wanted to convert this work group into a domain. So, to convert one server from work group to a domain, there are certain things should be there. First and foremost, the computer should be properly renamed, and you have a proper naming now. First condition is correct. Second one is the computer or the server should have a proper IP address that is static. Let me check the IP address. What is the command to check the IP address? A command called ipconfig. If you type a command called ipconfig, it will tell you what is the IP address of my computer. If you look at here, my IP version 4 is 192.168.190.30, and I have the subnet mask, I have the default gateway, but I don't know whether I'm having DNS or not. What I will do, I will put ipconfig/all. When you put ipconfig/all, it will give you the DNS information as well. See, you can see the DNS now. See, DNS is not there, even though the DNS server option is there, but DNS is not there. And this IP address is not DHCP enabled. See, it is not DHCP enabled. This means this IP address is a static one. The IP address is a static one, but it doesn't have any DNS added there, right? Somebody is joining. 1 second. Okay. So now you know the computer properly renamed, but the IP address is static, but DNS is not there. How to verify it? You need to go inside the operating system. Okay, there is a command called ncpa.cpl, network control panel.cpl. If you hit enter, you will see the network interface card of the computer. This is one way. Okay, you can use a command called ncpa.cpl, or you can even right click on this right side computer symbol is there na, small computer here. See, the right side, you can right click on it, go to open network and sharing center. Okay, and then go to change adapter settings, and see, the same thing came. Either you can use in the graphics, or very simple, you just type a command called ncpa.cpl. See, both are same, but command will give you quicker result, and it saves you a lot of time. Okay, then double click on this ethernet 0, go to properties, go to IP version 4, because my internet protocol version 4 I'm using, and you look at, there is no DNS. And if you remember, while I explaining the Active Directory and the partitions of the Active Directory database, I was talking about the application partition. While I explaining the application partition, I told you without the DNS, Active Directory will not work. So Active Directory and DNS both are like husbands and wife. So without DNS, Active Directory never works. So it is important to give a DNS address also. So what I will do, I will put the same IP address 192.168.190.30, because along with the Active Directory, I am also going to install the DNS server in the same server. Since I am installing the DNS server in the same server, I can even call this server as a DNS server, or I can even call this server as a Active Directory server, because both the services are there in the same server. That is why I'm just entering preferred DNS server, means the computer IP address wherein which you are installing the DNS role, that IP address should be added here. Okay, so let me click on OK. Now my requirements, the basic thing done, means proper naming is there, proper IP address is there, and I verified the computer is in the work group. Correct na? See, the computer is still in the work group. sysdm.cpl, if you do, the computer still says I'm in work group. So now what we have to do, we have to convert this work group machine to a domain environment. So people, see, you just started your career in the IT. I mean, you're just thinking to start. I mean, you just started the training now. So maybe you have a dream. I want to become, employee of XYZ company. Maybe you would like to work in Facebook or Meta or Amazon or Microsoft or Google. Many other dream companies are there. Okay. So can somebody tell me what's your dream company? I'll just create the domain for the same. Can somebody tell me what's your dream company?
Google.
Yep. Google is a very beautiful and fantastic company actually. Everyone would like to be in the Google. Okay. That is a heaven. Okay. So now let us go and start creating the domain called Google. Okay, how to create a domain called Google? It's very simple. And I told you when you log into the server, in the server you have a console called Server Manager. If you click on this Windows tile option here, you see an option called Server Manager. Click on Server Manager. So when you click on the Server Manager, so this is the place where you install all the services or where you uninstall all the services in the server operating system, Microsoft Server Operating System, no matter what version it is. Starting from Windows Server 2003 till Server 2020-22, you will have this Server Manager wizard. In this wizard only, you will add or remove the features, add or remove the roles, everything. So when you open this, you see an option called add roles and features. You just have to opt it, select it, or add the roles and features. So as soon as you opt or select this add roles and features, it is asking you to just read something, and you can just click on next option. As soon as you click on next option, okay, you get two options. One is role based or feature based installation, another one is remote desktop service installation. See, this role based or feature based installation is there na. There only you can install all the roles and features, be it is a Active Directory role, be it is a DHCP role, DNS role, file server, print server, many blah blah services are there. You can see in the next screen. But before I go there, let me clarify the second option also. So this remote desktop service is there na. This is one of the service. What it will do, it will allow your computer to enable more than two sessions. See, you have a server called DC01. At a time, only two users can connect. I am logging as a Manju, maybe Banu is logging as Banu. Okay, two users can log in. At the same time, if Harish or somebody is trying to log in, okay, or Ganesh or somebody is trying to log in, what happens? It will throw an error. There is already two users connected. Would you like to kill one user session? Either Manju or Banu, you need to kill to take the place there, because by default only two users concurrently connect to a same server. Means at a time only two users can log into a server operating system, but the client only one. Windows 10, Windows 11, only one user can connect at a time, but for the server operating system, two users can connect. But imagine if only two users are there, sometimes there is some applications where users should log in multiple users should log into the same server at a time. So to come out of that challenge, what we have to do, there is a service called remote desktop service installation. If you just install this role, it will enable you to have n number of connections based on the licenses. So we will call it as CAL licenses, CAL licenses. So you can just give the license information in the registry. Okay, then you just enable the service. Then by default, it will enable you to the n number of sessions. 100, 200, 300, 500,000. How much our license you have, that number of concurrent sessions can be established when you use remote desktop service installation. People may ask you, what is the default session in the server operating system? You can just tell only two concurrent sessions. So what I have to do in order to increase the number of sessions? You should tell you need to enable the remote desktop service installation services in it, and you need to provide the CAL licenses or the licenses pool you need to give there. Then number of VMs, how many number of licenses you have, that many number of connections can be created. Okay, that is about thing. Now let us go back to the roles and feature, because we are working on configuration of a domain controller. So I'll click on the first option, role based or feature based installation, and I'll click on next. As soon as I click on next option, it will give you some information about the server what I'm working now. If you look at here, you have a server, the name of the server is DC01, my server name is correct, And if you look at the IP address, yes, my IP address is 192.168.190.30. Yes, that is right. And if you look at, you have an operating system of Windows Server 2016 data center. Guys, to configure a domain controller, you need to have the server operating system. Okay, if you want to call it as a server, definitely there should be a server operating system. You cannot configure Active Directory server in the Windows 10 or Windows client computer, because they are not the servers, they are the client computers. And in the day one I told you, client means you will always consume some application or a service. Server means you will always serve something, serve some application, some services. Okay, so we are good here. So let me say next now. If I click on next, there you get the roles option. If you look at on the top, it is mentioned as roles. See, these many roles are there. If you are master in these roles, in the world, whatever biggest companies you are there, there is there no, you have no, everywhere you will become no champ. Means you can go to any companies if you know all these services. At least for now, we are beginning with, we are not teaching everything, we are only teaching you the limited ones here. But here we need to install the Active Directory role. And I told you, to convert one workgroup server into a domain server, you need to install Active Directory domain services. So once you install the Active Directory domain services, that server will become as will be called as a domain controller. Can somebody tell me which role I have to install now to convert this workgroup to domain? Which role I need to install, guys? In this,
Active Directory,
yeah,
domain service.
yes. So here you have multiple things called Active Directory. See, Active Directory certificate service is there. Active Directory domain service is there. Active Directory federation service is there. Lightweight directory service is there. Okay, many other stuffs are there. But if you want to create a certificate server, the first option is required. That is a separate option. That is a separate service. That's a certificate service or KPI service, we'll call it as. Okay, we don't need that. We need to create a domain. That is the reason I'm going to install Active Directory domain services. Let me select this one. And I told you, Active Directory will not work without the DNS. See, I'm not selecting the DNS here. See, DNS is not selected. Only Active Directory is selected. But if you look at Active Directory while installing, automatically install the DNS also. I'll show you now. Okay, I'm only selecting the Active Directory domain services and I'm clicking on next. So this is when I install Active Directory. See, by default, I'm not selecting the group policy. See, group policy automatically selected here. And the .NET also we need. See, .NET is already installed. Okay, something, but few required things now it get installed. Okay, so I will say next. Now I will click on next. So it is just asking you to review once. It is correct. I'm just clicking on the install wizard now. Now it is installing the features now. It is not necessarily it will become a domain controller if you just install the role. I'll show you. If you just install the role, it will not become a domain controller. What you need to do, you need to promote it to a domain controller. Okay, so let the installation completes. I'll show you what is the current status, whether it is still a work group or it is a domain environment. It will still show you as a work group environment. So see, it completed. Configuration is required, but installation is succeeded, okay, on the DC01. But if I just go to the command prompt and if you type sysdm.cpl, okay, you see, you still, even though you are installed the Active Directory domain services, it still show the work group only. Why? Because you have just installed the role. Correct, na? It is not necessarily if you install it will become domain controller. You need to promote it. Correct, na? So if you just get the admission, it is not like you have passed your graduation. You have to give the exam. You have to get evaluated, right? The same option, same thing goes here. So now, as soon as your installation completed, right? You see here a notification got created. So you click on the notification and you see here configuration is required for the Active Directory domain services or DC01, and you have an option called promote this server to a domain controller. What you have to do, you have to click on that option, then your wizard will open. Okay, that wizard will tell you three options. See, deployment the configuration here, deployment configuration is there, and select the deployment operation. What kind of operation you would like to do? It says add a domain controller to an existing domain. What is the meaning of it, guys? Add a domain controller to an existing domain means what is the meaning of it? Anybody? Yep. Go on, guys. Hmm? What is the meaning of it? This means, guys, it says add a domain controller means add one domain controller where to an existing domain. Means you already have a domain, add an existing domain controller. One more server you are going to add. Do we already have a domain with us? Are we already having domain now? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Where? Yes. What is my domain? You see here, it is still in the work group. If already domain is there, I would have seen, na? See,
We
it is.
installed the
See, it is still in the work group only. If it is a domain, I would have had a domain, right? We don't have any domain. Okay, we don't have any domain. We are going to create a new domain, na? Google.com. You only said, Banu. We are going to create a new domain called google.com, and we don't have any domain at all now. Okay, so first option is invalid. The second option, add a domain to an existing forest. Like I told you, if you have microsoft.com as a forest, under that you are going to add multiple child domains like east.contest.com or west.contest.com or india.microsoft.com, uk.microsoft.com, us.microsoft.com. So in our case, we don't have any forest also. Correct, na? We are still in the work group environment, guys. We don't have anything. We are just work group guys. That's all. Now the last option is there. The last option says add a new forest. What does that mean?
Adding a new domain.
Exactly. Add a new forest means we are going to configure freshly a forest or a domain. See, if you configure google.com today, that itself is a domain as well as a forest. When you add google india.google.com, uk.google.com, then India is a separate domain, UK is a separate domain, and Microsoft is also google.com is also a separate domain. All together we will call it as forest, and the forest name is google.com because in every domain that google.com is common. That is a common namespace. Okay, fine. Now in our case we are going to freshly configure forest, and select on the third option, add a new forest. Now my root domain name is Google. I would like to work in the Google, okay, and I will say google.com. Okay, now I will add the domain name as google.com and I will say next. This is how the company's domains will be created, guys. So it will give you some options. Okay, you need to set some passwords. What is this password? This password is nothing but DSRM, the directory service restore mode password. See, like you have a computer, in a computer you have this recycle bin to, you can restore something gets deleted also. Likewise, you have in the Active Directory also a recycle bin option. If you delete some user or some object, you can go to DSRM mode and restore it back. So to go to that restoration mode, you need to enter a password. That password is DSRM password. And this password can be anything. Even you have forgot the password also, we can reset it, not a problem. So let me add password at the rate 123. Password at the rate 123. Okay. I am adding the password. And see, I'm not selecting anything for the DNS. I'll just go with that by default option. And now it will tell you the NetBIOS name. See, there are two names in the IT, guys. If you're talking about the names, there are two kinds of name. One is NetBIOS name, Network Basic Input Output System name. That is called as NetBIOS name. Okay. Another one is FQDN, fully qualified domain name. So what do you mean by a domain? Domain will always have a prefix and suffix, guys. Domain means you should have google.com, microsoft.com, facebook.com, linkedin.com, correct? Or instagram.com. When you say .com, .in, .org ends with both prefix and suffix, that is called as FQDN. Fully qualified domain name means you should have both prefix like google.com like suffix, .in, .org, .private, .military, .government. So these are all the suffixes. So you should have both prefix and suffix, then only we will call it as a FQDN. FQDN means fully qualified domain name. But if you don't have that suffix, na, like .com, .in, .org, then it is called as net bias name. That is the reason when I was entering the name here, it is asking the specify the domain information for the operation. Root domain name. Domain means you should have both suffix. See, I will just remove .com and I will say next. See, it says verification of the forest name failed. The DNS name Google proposed for this Active Directory domain context consists, okay, of a single label. DNS names should be unique and fully qualified. See, it is telling you should be fully qualified, consisting one of the more labels separated by a period, means dot value. You can have, see example, corp.google.com. So you should have multiple values. You can even put like this, india.google.com. Okay, you can even put bng dot inside Bangalore, inside India, inside Google. You have one domain. Okay, this is how the fully qualified domain names. It is not necessarily single. Okay, it can also be multiple. Google.com. This is FQDN. Password I've already entered, but it will ask again. Yeah, so I will not add the DNS and see the net bias name. It is removing the suffix and it is coming next. So see, this system shared volume, yesterday I told you, no, whatever content you want to replicate to the other domain controller, it will just create a folder called sysvol, system shared volume. Okay, and it is storing in the C Windows NTDS. Inside this only even the database also there. Okay, the database folder will be this one, NTDS C Windows NTDS. Inside the file called ntds.dit. Log files also same, sysvol folder also same. C Windows under the system shared volume. Say next. And it is asking you to review. See, this is a script actually, guys. It's a PowerShell script. See, import FL module ADDS deployment, install -ADDS forest. Okay, you can just copy this one and run PowerShell also. Just go to the PowerShell like this. Let me open ISE. I'll go to PowerShell. Let me open ISE. Yes. Okay. ISE means it is integrated scripting editor. Okay, so you can just click on this one and you can even run like this. Okay, play button is there. Let me open it again freshly. Yeah, you can just play. See, safe mode administration password means it is asking some password. As soon as you are entering the password, it start building the domain controller from the PowerShell. Okay, but I don't want to run it from the PowerShell because I would like to show you how that works in the UI, graphical user interface. Okay, so now I click on next. I don't want to save it. Now it is verifying the prerequisite checks. I told you proper naming, .NET version, IP address, everything, whether it is there or not. It checks everything and it says all the prerequisite checks passed successfully. Click install to begin installation. So now I will select install. Now you look at here, starting the progress. It says starting, and you see DNS I have not selected, but automatically it will install the DNS. Because see, waiting for the DNS installation to finish. I have not selected the DNS at all. I have only selected the Active Directory. But however, Active Directory, no, it will not work without the DNS. See, group policies installing. See, this is the configuration partition and all I was talking about. See, configuration partition, schema partition already done. See, directory partition it's configuring, and see application partition because DNS started. Within 30-40 seconds, your environment will become secured domain 1. Okay. Now, if I go to command prompt, and if you see, you see it got actually, okay, it got converted already. If you see sys dm dot cpl, see now it got already changed. Now it got restarted. Once the computer is restarted, the UI itself will change. Earlier it was only asking enter username and password. Now it got changed to Google domain, Google/username. It will ask. See, the complete UI got changed now. And without the password, you cannot do anything, guys. Okay. So let us check. So the same thing, let this get on. I'm powering on this Windows 10 computer, whatever is there with me. Okay, and we'll keep it ready, and we can add this Windows 10 to the domain. See, it still says in the work group because it is not asking the domain variable here, domain name here. See, if I just log in, I can check. Yeah, see this Windows 10 I have logged in. If I go to the command prompt, same way, go to the command prompt and type a command called sysdm.cpl, system domain management.cpl, guys. It is okay. Should always read the scripts in this fashion only. System domain management.cpl. If you click it, enter, then you see this computer has got different name. I mean, it's proper name only. See, by looking at this name, I can understand what? I can understand W means it's a Western Europe. UC means it is end user computer department. Computer ID is 1. So this is a proper naming only. Okay. So, and if you see, it is still in the work group. In Windows 10, you cannot create the domain. What you can do, you can domain join this Windows 10 PC to the Google domain. Okay. So to do that, see now my computer is up and running the server. Let me go to the server and log in. So see now it got changed. Banu, if you see here, earlier it was just giving administrator. Now if you look at, it says only Google/administrator. Means when you go to the Google office, you will your ID will be like this only, Google/Bhanumati, something like that, or Banu, some ID will be there. Okay, then you need to enter the password here, password at that 123, and you can log in. See, this is how the domain will be there, and the domain administrator is the super most powerful person. Super most powerful person is domain administrator. So we still have more administrators. I'll show you now what are I mean how they are different. Okay, are different. Now you have installed Active Directory, you have configured the Active Directory domain controller. Now let me quickly go to the command prompt and run the command called sysdm.cpl, and you see now it is not in the work group, guys. See my computer name, if you look at, my computer name is dc01.google.com. This is my FQDN. And if you look at this one, domain, right? My domain name is google.com. So it is not in the work group, it is in the domain. So we are good. Now how to verify whether it is a domain controller or not? Okay, how to verify this is my domain controller or not? You can just type a command called set-l. Set space L, if you give set space L, set L will call it as. So this will tell you what is my logon server. See now, whenever I enter the username and password, there should be some domain controller who will validate. That will tell you as a logon server. So who is allowing you to log on? This DC01. Who is my DC01? My DC01 is my server computer. Who is my server computer? This is the latest computer which I promoted to a domain controller. Okay. Now what you can do to check whether it is created properly or not, you can go to the tools option here. Click on tools and you see multiple options with respect to Active Directory. Starts with Active Directory. See, Active Directory Administrator Center is there, Active Directory Domains and Trust is there, Active Directory Modules, Sites and Services and Users and Computers, ADS Edit. Everything is Active Directory only along with this group policy management. And you see even the DNS is also installed. Correct na? See, 90% of the work, Active Directory related work, will be done by in a console called Active Directory Users and Computers. This one, Active Directory Users and Computers. Click on this Active Directory Users and Computer and you see you have a domain called google.com here. See, this is a domain called google.com and you see the containers are there. So that means it is a domain controller. It is converted as a domain controller. Okay. Now, how to create hierarchies? I was talking about the hierarchies, na? Like you have multiple departments, right? Say for example, India in the Google, you have an office in India also. So what I will do, I will try to keep all the Indian users in a single OU, means in the group or in a folder. So what you can do, you can create a organization unit, means in under the Google we have multiple organizations are there. Okay, google.com. So what I will do, I'll click on Google, create a new, and there is an option called organizational unit. Click on that organizational unit and create a OU or a container called India. INDIA. Okay, and if you see, a new OU got created here. See the difference. If you see the folder users and if you see the folder India, there is a slight difference in the graphics. Okay, this is called as container. This is called as organization unit. Okay, so India, not only India, we have one office. We have multiple Google offices. We have Pune, we have Bangalore. Multiple things are there. So what I will do, I will create one more organization unit inside the India, that is for Bangalore. Okay, under the India we have office in BNG, means Bangalore. So now you see under India you have Bangalore office, but in Bangalore do we only have the programmers? Do we only have one IT users? We have multiple departments. What are those departments? Right click and create organization unit. One is admin, main peoples, admins will be there, who will take care of the facility, who will take care of your cab facilities, seatings, everything will be taken care by the admin. That is the crucial one. And then you have IT users also, IT department, IT. Okay, and then you have sales department also, pre-sales. Okay, sales peoples will be there, everywhere will be there, sales. Correct na? And then you have HRs also, who will hire you. Correct na? You will have HRs also. So like this, the segregation, this is called hierarchical structure I was talking about yesterday. So now under the IT you have multiple departments, guys. Okay, what are departments we have? We have programmers. You have programmers. So, and you have infra guys or Wintel guys or cloud guys, cloud team. Okay, or you have testing team. And you have Windows and Linux guys, infra guys. Okay, I'll put Windows engineers. Wintel means it covers both. Okay, see, this is how you will create the folder structure. Okay, so what you will do with this, with the help of this folder structure, what you can achieve? I told you, you can achieve the centralized administration, guys. Now say for example, you want to apply one wallpaper to all the 1,000 users who are there in this particular cloud OU or IT department. Here only you have to put. What you can do? Very simple. Go to the tools option, go to the group policy management option. In the group policy you will see the same folder structure, guys. Okay, if you expand this far as google.com and if you go to the domain Google, see under that you have a OU na, the India what I created now. See, the folder structure is there. India. See, now India is there. Yeah. Now under India, you see Bangalore. Under Bangalore, you see multiple other departments also. The screen is flickering. Is my screen flickering, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one second. Yeah, it is fine now. Now under Bangalore, you see all the OUs. Admin is there, HR is there, IT is there, under IT cloud is there. See everything. Now if you want to apply one wallpaper for all the IT users, just right click on here, create a policy. Okay, wallpaper. Okay, see, I will do anyway this one. Just right click on this wallpaper. Okay, go here, edit option, and you see computer configuration and some other configuration will be there. Go to policies, go to administrative templates, go to desktop here. Okay, go to desktop, and you see here you have an option called desktop wallpaper. Okay, select this enable one, click the path like this. You need to give the path, file path. Okay, then apply. If you apply, within fraction of 10-15 seconds, all the 1,000 computers will have the wallpaper, guys. So such a beautiful option we have. I mean the group policy. Okay, that is the benefit of this hierarchical structure of the Active Directory. Okay, so and how to create a user. Anyway, we will do it tomorrow. Everything, but let me tell you today you are joining in the cloud department. Okay, you have got a ticket stating a new user got joined. His name is Manjunath TG, and you need to onboard him. How to onboard him? You get a ticket in the service now stating Manjunath TG, a new user is joined. His commencing date is from 18th of uh, January 2024 or 17th of January 2024. You need to create a user account. You need to go to this OU. Okay, under the OU right click, and instead of creating the new organization unit, you create the user just below that. Select the user option and you enter. First name is Manjunath, last name is TG, and the account name is Manju TG @ google.com. So done. Password is, you can enter the password @ 123, password @ 123, and I should not change the password. If you want to change the password, you can select this one, but I don't want to change the password. I'll anyway show you tomorrow. Okay, fine, finish. See, Manjunath TG, a new user joined. Correct na? Now that is how you create the users. Okay, now you know how to promote a domain controller, how to verify the domain controller, how to create the organizational units to the folder structures, how to create the group policy, how to create a user. Now let us quickly go and complete the today's topic called domain joining. So this machine is there now, with the Windows 10 machine I have. Okay, it's a client machine, and it still says I am in the work group. See, it is still in the work group. It is not in the domain. Now I have to domain join. What you have to do, under the, when you are renaming the computer, there is a change option. When you click on this change option, below that you see two options. One is work group, another one is domain. Click on domain and enter the domain name. What is my domain name? The domain name is, what is my domain name?
Google.com.
Yep, my domain name is google.com. Let me tell OK. And it is telling a duplicate potentially shorter net bias name. That's okay, not a problem. And it says two things. Read the error here. An Active Directory domain controller ADDC for the domain google.com could not be contacted. Means this computer is unable to talk to the domain name called google.com. Ensure that the domain name is typed correctly. It is asking me to verify the name. Let me try again. google.com. So my name is correct. My domain name is correct. If it is, the name is correct, click the details and troubleshoot the information. So it is asking you this one. So the problem is, I'll tell you, will the computer understand the names? Guys,
No, sir.
computer never understand the name. Correct. Now I was telling you there is a person called DNS who will convert this google.com to some IP address. What is my IP address now? The google.com server IP address is 192.168.190.30. Correct. Now see, this is my google.com. See here. If I go to command prompt, let me verify whether I have the DNS entry here or not. ncpa.cpl. If I go to the network control panel, go to the Ethernet 0, go to the properties, and then I'll click on the IP version 4, and then if I go here, see, a person called DNS is not there. Since the DNS address is not here, when I type google.com, this person, nobody is there to resolve that name to the IP address. That is why it is failing now. Now let me put 192.168.190.30. This is my DNS server address, because if you see here, okay, if you look at here, I have my DNS command prompt. If I go, if I put ipconfig/all, ipconfig/all, you see my DNS address is this one. What 127 is a loopback one, computer, local computer. Okay, ncpa.cpl. If I do, it will allow me to go to the properties and then check the DNS address is valid or not. See, it is correct only. 192.168.190.30. See, it is correct, and this is my server IP address, and I have also installed the DNS there. See, if I go to tools and you see the DNS, so DNS is already there. See, this is DC01. In that DC01, I have installed the DNS also. So I am entering the correct DNS address here. DNS address is correct. So now, since I have added the DNS address now in the network interface card, if I try to domain join now, click on change. Instead of Google group, select the Google domain, google.com, and now if you see, it will ask me to enter the username and password, because now somebody is there to resolve. See, now I have added the DNS address now there in the network interface card of the Windows 10 machine, and then the Windows 10 is reaching here, because this is a 192.168.190.30, and it is coming and asking, okay, whether this Google is there. Yes, see, DC01, a record got created. Since I am adding google.com, see, dc1.google.com, it is resolving to 192.168.190.30. okay, and that is why it is asking username and password. The username should be administrator. It should be like this: google/administrator. Password is password@123, and you can select OK. Once you click on OK, see, welcome to the google.com domain. As soon as I click on OK and start restart, it will get restart. As soon as your domain join, guys, it will restart. This is how you do the domain joining. It is very, very important. Okay, restart now. And if you go to the domain controller here, okay, close this DNS, open the Active Directory one here, and if you go to the computer option, you see that computer populated here. See, in the computer now, since I have domain joined, this computer has become added here. Western Europe -EUC01. Now imagine all the computers are here. If you want to make some settings to all the computers, you can just go on the right click on the my computer here from the group policy here. You can go here, go to that computer OU, okay, and then create a policy, so all the computers will have the same settings whatever you have mentioned in the group policy. Okay, now if you see, my computer is restarted. Let this computer comes up, and then I'll show you how to log in to the computer and how to grant access to the user called Manju we have created in the IT department. Correct? Na? In the IT department, we have created a user called Manju right here, cloud. So how to grant access to a user which created in the Active Directory but to the local computer. Okay, let me log in here. Okay, and see, now it is still admin what you have to do, you have to log in PASSWORD, or you can even do click on other users, and see now it has come Google below. If you see sign into Google, you can put Google/administrator, password is @123. See now you are logging in as a Google administrator to this computer, because I told you administrator means he has got the super most power. He can do anything and everything. He can log into any computer which is there in the domain. If you have 10,000 computers domain joined, all the 10,000 computers you can log in, no restrictions at all. That is why I logged in as Google/administrator. Since I have logged in as a Google/administrator, okay, this computer will allow me to make the changes. I can even grant access, I can do installation of the computer, I can configure the printers, blah blah blah. Any activity that you want to perform, that can be done when you log in as an administrator. That too, if you log in as a domain administrator. There are two types of administrator. One is local administrator, another one is domain administrator. Okay, since I have logged in as a domain controller, I would like to verify who am I. Okay, you want to know which user I have logged into. You can just type a command called who am I. It will tell you you are the Google administrator, guys. See, you are the Google administrator. Now you want to grant access to this computer to a newly created user called Manjunath TG. You may get a request. There is a new user called some Ganesh or something. Okay, somebody he is joining, and this for UC01 computer you need to grant access. What you do, you log in as an administrator and then go to this option. Open this file explorer. Okay, or right click on this PC, right click, go to manage. Okay, so once you go to the manage option, you see local users and groups, guys. Once you open local users and groups, there are two folders. One is users, another one is groups. Correct na? See, this is how you go to graphics. But I don't want to go via graphics because I always love to go with command prompts. There is a command called LUSR, local user, MGR, manager .msc. If you open, you see that directly it's opened. So that is why command will increase your efficiency. Now see the same groups, same user, same groups. See, if you create the user inside the local computer, see Manju I have created here. Let me give, I will create a new user called Avinash. See, Avinash is a local administrator. See, I have created a new user Avinash, and I'm just putting password PASSWORD @123, PASSWORD @123, and I am just creating the user. See, I have not created the users in the Active Directory here. I have not created here. Avinash is not here. See, if you type Avinash, Google, right click on the google.com and find, and if you click on Avinash, 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 see, we are not getting no items matched to this current search. That means Avinash is not there. Avinash is not there. See, that Avinash is not there. But why? Because Avinash is not created in the Active Directory. Avinash got created in the local computer. That is why we call this as a local user. See, local users, because the user got created in the local computer. Okay. Now we go to the groups. In here the groups, you have administrator, multiple groups are there. Okay. This is the groups to grant access. If you want to give administrator access to the local computer, open the group. Okay, and see Manju is already there. Even add Avinash also here. Avinash. Check names. Avinash. Okay, see, AVINASH. Not, see, I should select here. Sorry, in the Western Europe computer, Avinash, check name. See, Avinash came. Western Europe UC01/Avinash. So he is the local administrator now. Okay. Now this is how you create a local user and grant access to the local user like that. Now I want to grant access to Manju, who is created in the domain environment. Okay. Click on add. See here from the location, you can select the location. Do you want to create a user from the local, or you want from the entire directory? From the google.com, see, from the google.com, from India, okay, from Bangalore, from the department called IT, from the cloud department, Manju is there. Okay, what you can do, you don't select everything, just select the google.com, the main one, and just type MA also, it's fine. See, if you just put M also, all the users who start with M will come. See, Manjunath TGK, just apply OK, access is granted. See, now Google/Manju TG also have access to this computer. What kind of access? The administrator access is there. Sometimes you want to give only the RDP access, means the user should log into the computer but he cannot do anything. If you want to do that, click on this remote desktop, just add the user. Okay, this I will anyway show you again, not a problem. Now let me check whether Manju Nath has got access to this computer or not. Okay, I just logged out from the administrator. Now let me log in as the Manju TG. Send Control Alt Delete. Now instead of Google administrator, I'll click on other users. Then I'll click on Google/Manju TG. Manju TG. Okay, TG. Password is password @123. See, Manju has got access. Google MNJTG PAGOOGL, correct? Huh? PASSWORD @123. Yep. So username password is incorrect. See, I have forgot the password. I don't know what password I have entered. Okay, what I will do, I want to reset my password quickly. I'll go to here, cloud department. Manju is there. Right click on Manju. There is an option called reset password. Click on reset password. Enter the password PASSWORD @123. PASSWORD @123, and you are unlocking the account because user might have entered multiple wrong attempts. It might locked. Fine. Now the password has been changed. You will call the user or send an SMS to the user stating your password has been reset. Now Manju will get an SMS with a new password. Okay. So what he will try to do, he will try to log in. Manju TG PASSWORD @123. See, that is how. Why? Okay. Correct a name. Let me check the username. Go to account. Hey, it is wrong. See, N is not there. N is missing. It is Maju TG. Okay, MAJUTG. If I just go here, MAJUTG. Okay, PASSWORD @123. That's why you have to maintain hygiene whenever you are doing anything. See, if you read the properly, if you read the error, na Microsoft, you are able to fix the issue. So it is always learn or cultivate a characteristics or attitude of reading the errors first. You read the error carefully. If you read the error carefully, then you will have the solution for your issue. Okay, see, now Manju is logged in. So that means we have successfully configured the domain controller, and we know now how to domain join, how to create the OUs, how to create the users, blah blah blah. So tomorrow what we will do in the next class, we will try to show you what are all the day-to-day Active Directory related activities that we perform. Okay, everything starting from the user creation, starting from the user onboarding, like how whenever there is a new user got created, what are all the things should be done. See, if I go to the command prompt, if you type who am I, you see it is MAJUTG from the domain called Google. So with this we are done for the day. Let me stop the recording and then I'll explain you a little bit more. Thank you so much.